Hello and welcome to another instalment of Meet the Team, a series where I have been getting to know different members of the leadership sphere community and asking them to share why they're so passionate about the work that we do. My name is Sarah Hay. I am the marketing coordinator at TLS. This time I am joined by our head of client success, Samantha Adnum, and one of our wonderful consultants, facilitators and coaches, Louise Duncan. Hi guys, thank you both for joining me.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Louise.
Hi, Sam. Hi, Sarah.
Louise, if I could start with you, could you please tell me a little bit about how your involvement with TLS began and about your journey with us?
Sure, yeah. I actually met Phil about 10 years ago, and we were introduced by a mutual friend and colleague, and I did a little bit of work with Phil back then, which was great, and we just sort of stayed in contact. And then I did Dare to Lead a few years ago, which was fantastic. I did that with Phil, and of course, I love Brené's work, and it was fantastic to be able to do it with Phil. And then from then, just sort of doing, of course, the signature program of leadership excellence and coaching, and it began about 10 years ago, which I'm surprised I sort of lost track of time with the COVID years in between there.
How's made it feel like condensed a little bit time
Yes,
in that way?
Yeah.
So what is it that excites you about being part of the TLS community?
I love the work. Like I love being able to work with like-minded people. Working with TLS in particular, your commitment, or TLS's commitment to compassion and kindness and courage, and just that growth mindset, and I feel really aligned with my own personal values. And then, of course, the TLS corporate team, awesome to work with. We're in it together, and we really, I just love how TLS as a whole is just committed to supporting people being the best that they can be, and in whatever way that looks for individuals or teams or organisations. So that's why I love working with TLS, because of all of that and more.
Thank you, Louise. Very, very kind of you to say, and nice to hear. And I think the team would be pretty happy for me to say on their behalf that the feeling is very mutual. We love working with you as well.
Thank you.
And for you, Sam, how did you begin your journey with TLS?
I guess I've known Lauren for a little while, and I reached out to Lauren to ask her to be a reference. I was going for an internal position at my previous employment, and that just kind of triggered conversations between Lauren and I, and then this position came up, and she encouraged me to put myself forward for it, and I went through the process, and yeah, here we are. So a bit of a change from what I was doing, but definitely something that I was shifting towards, and wanting to get a bit more of, and yeah, it's a good fit.
Wonderful. And why is it that you enjoy the work that we do here at TLS?
The people. Every day, I'm just amazed by the people that we work with, whether it's internally in the TLS team, the wider team with the facilitators like yourself, Louise, and Fliss and Rich, and Dina, they're all just wonderful people. And then even dealing with the clients, it's just those clients having that passion and commitment to working for their teams and wanting to benefit them, and their investment into their team's futures. I just find it so inspiring and amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't have put it more perfectly. We do have a wonderful community that we've managed to build around TLS, both internal and external teams, as well as with our clients.
Mm.
So Sam, sticking with you, what specific skills or expertise have you developed throughout your career that really sets you apart in what you do?
I've spent a long time with customer-facing roles, both sales and service, and I just think that the skills and the understanding, the connection building piece of being in a customer-facing frontline role just really helps me understand, start to finish, the customer experience, what it's like to engage with a business, engage with a company, and just that is just going to help me push TLS into the future of having a streamlined, easy to deal with company to invest in their future growth.
Amazing. Louise, similarly for you, what sets you apart in your field as a facilitator?
I thought about this. I think a skill that I've developed over the years, and it's something that I think I developed unconsciously without even realizing. It's the last few years I've realized, actually, this is really, really valuable, is that I'm really good at creating an environment or a safe space where people can step outside of their comfort zones and feel like it's okay, because that can be a really scary process for people. Just, when we want to grow, when we want to learn, and we want to stretch ourselves, but it just feels hard or scary. And I think that's a natural, normal human response when we step outside of our comfort zones, because they're not comfortable anymore, so we are sort of off center. So I think I'm really good at creating that space where we can be curious and learn more about who we can be and what we aspire to be, but in a way that's compassionate for ourselves and courageous as well. So I'm really passionate about opening that space for people. And so I feel like that's what I bring to my work, either one-on-one or coaching or facilitating.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. And it can be so hard with the programs that we do. We ask people to dig in quite deeply. So having that safe space to be able to do that is so important. And yeah, I think you do that wonderfully.
Yeah, thank you.
The big topic that we've been discussing within the team this quarter has been ethical leadership. And I was wondering if you could each share with me your thoughts on ethical leadership and the role that it plays within strong organisational cultures. If either of you would like to jump in.
Will I go first? Will I jump in?
Yeah, please.
I love this topic, and you're right, it's a really big topic, and I think it's something that's so important for us to grapple with. And as I've been thinking about it and talking with you, Sarah and Sam, that there's so many different components, and I feel like, to begin with, the most important thing is that it's about practicing from a deep sense of integrity, of knowing what's important, and then making decisions and behaving from that place. And I think ethical leaders, they're committed to doing that. And it's not always easy, but I think leaders who practice and live by that deep connection to their ethical responsibilities, they prioritise doing the right thing and over, sort of personal gain or profits. And they're really transparent about it as well. And I think this transparency is so important because it just builds trust, and it allows us to do the work that we do. It fosters a culture of allowing people to feel valued and heard, and it's what the TLS demonstrates, I think, so often. And the one thing that I'm really passionate about in relation to ethical leadership, and I think ethical leaders do this so naturally, in fact, any great leaders do this, is that they have a really deep sense of self-awareness and emotional intelligence, and are committed to developing. That we're all, in it together. We're all learning, and Sarah, you've probably heard me talk about this a lot. So I'm so passionate that there's no full stop to us. We can just keep growing and learning. And I think ethical leaders are, really committed to that. And that's all so important to organisations, for their future growth and development. So I don't know, I've said, sorry, Sam, I get very passionate about this topic.
Yeah, no, I would agree with everything that you've said, Louise. Like, ethical leadership is leaders who aren't afraid, and they're open to having those tough conversations, making those tough decisions, but doing so in line with their values and who they are at a core, but also opening up the space and allowing their team to be able to lean in and make tough decisions and have tough conversations with each other based around their own personal values and integrity and things as well. It's really important, because I think when people feel safe and empowered to live like that and to make decisions like that, that they're going to be more productive in the workplace. And loyal, like long-term loyalty. And it's just such a strong piece to have, and definitely not easy to live, and not easy to inspire in other people, but it's such an important place that comes from that self-awareness, like you said.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
love what you just said there, Sam, around the courage that it takes and the commitment to it and the values, living by values, because I think, and then being transparent about that, because that builds connection, between teams, between, the different businesses within organisations and then their stakeholders and the community at large. But you're right, it's not easy. Like, it's something we need to be really do consciously, I think, often. And then connected with that, what you were just saying is that those ethical leaders, they're committed to their own development, but they're equally committed to the development of their people.
That's right.
Their people to be the best that they can be. And, that's inspiring, like, it's really, and it's what's so important for organisations, I think.
Yeah, because I look back over my career and I find points where I was the happiest at work, or I felt like I, like belonged and felt that sense of accomplishment. And and it was when I had leaders who created that environment that allowed you to really be like making those, tough choices and in a safe place to do so. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a great topic. It's a big one. Sorry, Sarah.
No, this is wonderful. As you say, it is a big topic. There is a lot that we could discuss and go on to take so many different paths to. But what I'm picking up from this conversation is that it all comes back to creating that safe space and making people feel comfortable, which is so important.
Comfortable in being uncomfortable at times.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that growth.
So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts around that. As I said, it's very big, and we could go on and on about it, but we won't this time. So what I'm going to do now is just to switch gears a little bit and throw a few questions at you to get to know each of you a little more personally and in a little more of an unconventional way. So that's okay with both of you. I will start with you, Sam. Can you tell me, are you a morning person or a night owl?
Oh, I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
I will stay up all night and then be like, oh, why am I so tired this morning? But definitely a night owl. Yeah.
And Louise, yourself? Morning person or night owl?
Morning person. Yeah, definitely. It's, if I get up early, then I'm switched on. Yeah, like I'm ready to go. That's when I can do all my really good thinking. And yeah, definitely a morning person.
Very nice. I do like that we've got the duality there with you guys. I'll stick with you, Louise. What is one thing on your bucket list that you'd like to accomplish?
It's a good question. There's a few things sort of swirling around. I really want to go hiking in New Zealand. Like, I just want to go and explore and the beautiful mountains and the lakes. And so I think that's the most immediate thing at the moment. It's sort of as an adventure, head off to New Zealand.
I can say I can recommend doing that. I did that about 5 years ago. We did the big hike. I can't remember the real name of the famous mountain there, but it was the one they used as Mount Doom in the Lord of the Rings movies. A big like 8-hour hike that we did there. Yeah. If you do get the chance, I would recommend that.
Yeah, actually, the other thing is we went to Kakadu a few years ago and camped for 18 days. It was the most phenomenal experience ever. So I really would love to go back to the Kimberley and just Mitchell Falls and things, but that's a massive trip. But sorry, Sarah, you just inspired me with
No, never apologize for anything like that. Sam, what about you? Was a bucket list item that you're keen to tick off?
I would really love to experience a dawn service at Gallipoli.
Yeah.
I'd really love to experience that at least once in my lifetime. Yeah.
Is that a... Sorry, get my thoughts back to me. What is it that's that you find so important about doing?
I think it's just such an important part of our Australian history, and it kind of shaped how Australia is today, like one of the moments that shaped Australia as we see it today. And just to be there in that place and that time, it's just something that is important to me to experience.
Yeah.
So do either of you have any surprising talents or skills that most people might not know about? Sam, start with you.
Well, it's not just for props in the background. I can actually play the piano. I grew up playing the piano for quite a number of years, and started on a keyboard and moved my way up to a piano. My parents needed to see commitment to the project to do that. My piano is very special to me though, because I saved up to buy my own piano when I was about 15. I saved up and I brought a 100-year-old piano that needed to be completely refurbished. And it was a beautiful piano, but it needed complete overhaul. And I was saving up to get that done as I had money with my part-time job and things like that. But my grandmother secretly went and traded it in for the one that is here now. So it's very special to me that she did that for me. Yeah. But
What type of music do you like to play, Sarah? Like, do you have a
I kind of just did a bit of everything. When I started on the keyboard, it was more contemporary type stuff, and then I moved into more classical piano. Yeah, I reckon my favourite one to play is Ralph, Beethoven. That's my absolute favourite. And there's another little odd, like not a well-known one that I just love because I love the way it feels when I play it. Like it's
beautiful.
Not really, yeah. I love the way it feels to play. Yeah, and this other one.
Yeah. And Louise, yourself?
Yeah, something that I don't tell many people now as an adult, but I tap danced for 20 odd years and started as a young girl and into my 20s, and I just loved it. And I had this beautiful teacher, Miss Hall. Her name was Phyllis Hall. She was an old Tivoli dancer, and she used to. Oh, she was so funny. She used to dance like Ginger Rogers, just the most beautiful dancer, but would have a cigarette hanging out of her mouth the whole time.
A wonderful image.
Yeah, she was amazing. Yeah, so I still tap a little bit, but not as much as I need to. But not many people would know that that was in my past.
That's really awesome. Yeah, you both have like such...
Sorry.
Compete?
Yes, as a young person, yes, yeah. Used to get up there and give it a good go. So it was fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. You both have such artistic, special, smart skill. So just to finish off, I've got one final question for you both. And again, whoever would like to jump in first, please feel free. But what is one positive change that you've made in your life that has had a significant impact not only on yourself, but on your community?
I reckon one that I've made lately is I've been doing some work around boundaries. So I've made some changes personally around creating, setting, and the internal talk that goes around boundary settings. And I've seen a positive impact in my close relationships, and even just relationships going broader into the community. So that's been really great for myself. And while I don't think it's having a direct impact on my wider community, I'm seeing the impact it's having on my kids. And I hope that that is setting them up with the tools and the knowledge of being able to do that themselves earlier in their life. And so then that will have broader impacts across the community and stuff as a whole.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. It's sort of similar actually, Sam. I was thinking about this. Something for me has shifted, and I think it's since Dare to Lead actually. Like, this is quite personal, but I'm finding owning my voice more. Like, just and not being afraid to just step forward and contribute. So it's pretty big, and that might also sound a little bit nebulous, but I think for a lot of my life, just holding myself back and holding my voice back. So what I think the big shift came, I did Dare to Lead, and I also did a massive volunteer role, and it demanded it of me. I was terrified taking it on, but it demanded that I step up. And that allowed me to support the community to come together as well through a very challenging time. So, and then so it's just perfect in my work, like just to be able to step forward. And it's still scary at times. Yeah. But not keeping myself small, like it's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So I think that's been a big shift for me as I've moved through my life.
And that's something that we could tie back to that ethical leadership question.
Mm.
Feeling uncomfortable, but
yes.
having the self-awareness to assess that and know that, and then still move forward with the right thing to do.
Yes, yeah, and know that this is really important, and it is scary, but it's time. It's time to, So absolutely, Sam, it's a beautiful link back. I love that.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the exact same thing as you, Sam. As soon as Louise said that it's about facing those fears for yourself and the impact that even other people seeing you do that will have on them, so that it inspires them to do the same.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you again, Sam and Louise, for joining me for this edition of Meet the Team. It's been wonderful getting to chat to you both and getting to know you each a little bit better.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. It's been great. Sam, thank you.
Thanks, Louise.
Yeah.